It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. Welcome to the Dep Lewis Show, episode 105. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, December 1st, 2024. A great day for a podcast about video games and much more. So I hope you're doing great out there in the world. I am a little bit under the weather over here, if you can't tell from my voice, but I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to run through this podcast pretty quickly today so I can provide the video game information that the world needs. So I'm going to try to be a little bit short and sweet here today, but I wanted to do a podcast regardless, and I am sorry for any sniffles or sick soundingness on this podcast. I'm on the up and up. I think some of the Thanksgiving festivities and some of the seeing a bunch of people and boozing and things like that have taken their toll on me, or maybe it's just whatever. But oh well, I'm here for the show. Hope you're doing great out there in the world. Hope you're feeling good and not sick, and you had a good Thanksgiving and a good weekend. So let's get down to business. First order of business is to ask you to follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show available anywhere you can find a podcast. So find the best place to subscribe and listen weekly. Places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Amazon Music, and more. Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow. If you'd like to support the show even further than just listening, Patreon.com/DepLewisShow is available if you'd like to subscribe monthly. Also, Venmo at Dep Lewis Show is available any day, anytime, for any amount if you would like to support the show with this sick-sounding podcaster. So for today's show, we have our three sections as always. First section, what video games I've been playing since I've last talked to you on this microphone. The second section is the mid section, which is not mid in quality, but it is the middle section where I tell you about what's going on around the video game world. And the third section is the miscellaneous talk section, where I can talk about anything I want to outside the video game world. So that is the plan for the show today. So, let me catch my breath here and get into this first section of the podcast. What have I been playing? So I've actually completed a video game since I've last talked to you, and that video game is Astro, and it's definitely in contention for Game of the Year. I completed this on, I think it was Thanksgiving morning. Completed some Astro, saw the credits, had a great ending cutscene with the credits. It was very cool. The last themed level in the final world was an Aloy Horizon Zero Dawn level, and that was one of the best levels in the whole game, I gotta say. It was extremely fun going around there. I'm shooting the bow and arrow at things, and I got a little bit over 200 of the characters that you have to find. I think 300 is the total. I think there's a little bit more over 300 now, but I have something over 200 with the collectibles. So that's where I'm at Astro. I really love this whole game. It's definitely in contention for Game of the Year. I'll probably talk about it more, talk about some more during Game of the Year kind of stuff, or the Dep Lewis Show awards to really talk about it, since especially today I'm not feeling good. But Astrobot's a wonderful game. I highly recommend it to mostly everybody. And thank you, Astrobot and Team Asobi. Another game I've gotten into, and I played a good bit yesterday, not feeling so well, was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It was a great kind of sick day game. I've been exploring the Junon area, doing some missions for Priscilla, maybe getting tricked by Priscilla, into meeting Roche again. I saved Yuffie from the giant water beast, and Yuffie's really cool, and hopefully going to be joining up with her in some form or fashion, helping her complete some missions and things like that. There was a frog side mission that was funny. I got to do with Tifa. My notes from this week were the relationship stuff in this game is done very well. I've been enjoying talking to the main characters in my party, like Aerith and Tifa and Barrett and Red, and I'm probably forgetting somebody, but all the characters that roll around with me, Red 13, and it's been fun. It's nice getting to talk to them. You have to make some quick decisions on some dialogue things, and that's been a fun little change. It's nice getting to know those characters a little more because I really enjoy them. I wrote Roche. It's pretty cool, pretty funny, pretty hilarious, pretty great on-screen moments with Roche, and the music in this game is extraordinary. I wrote the music in this game really is wonderful. You can sit there and let it play. It really adds to the game in a meaningful way. It's very beautiful. It's very nice. It's very, I don't know. They do the music so well in this game, and that's a definite strong selling point to this game. And so Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, a wonderful game. Something else I'm playing, and I plan to play more of. And something I was playing this morning. So I'm running through these real quick today. People out there in the world. I really am going to try to be quick so you don't have to listen to this voice. But Spyro Reignited Trilogy has been another video game I've been playing this week. I was actually playing some this morning before I'm doing the podcast. I defeated Toasty, the first boss in the first world, and he was actually very easy. But I've written my notes. This is very relaxing. game to go around platforming, collecting, and talking to some dragons. That's what you're doing. The controls are simple, but they're fun. They're effective. There's a little bit of variety in them that makes it fun. Whether you're able to dash into an enemy to hurt them, or you have to hit them with your flames. One thing I did that really helped, or I think helped, I turned off the motion smoothing in the menu. I think it makes the game look and run a little bit better. And I'm playing the first game, just if you wanted to know. Spyro the Dragon, the 1998 platform game, developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation. So Insomniac is one of my favorite developers of all time, doing the Spider-Man games and the Ratchet and Clank games. And I really should have tried this game sooner, knowing that it's Insomniac. I feel like that's something I halfway forgot, and then looking up this game, I was like, oh, no wonder I'm really, really loving this game. So Spyro is such a cool character. I love that he's like sassy and has some attitude. I think that's really neat and interesting. And sometimes like an old dragon will say, I'm going to tell you a story. And he goes, no thanks. And then he just dips out and goes back to running around the world. So that's been a very fun game too. So those have been the three main games I've been playing this week. Astro, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Spyro the Reignited Trilogy. So just a little summary for gaming plans. This has been the year of the RPG on the Dep Lewis Show. I believe next year will be the year of the retro game on the Dep Lewis Show. So I just pick a genre or a subset of video gaming that I take a focus on during the year, whether that's playing more of those games, reading more about them, looking more into back history, all that kind of stuff. So just a little bit of a focus for the year. Today this year I've been trying to play RPGs, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, one of them, Final Fantasy VII Remake, a game I completed and brag about way too much. And I'm thinking the retro stuff will be anything before the Xbox 360, PS3 era, but also may include that era. I am not sure. But I want to maybe get into some retro stuff. That's just been my feelings a little bit lately and things I've been kind of gravitating towards. So I'm going to try to do that on the podcast here. I think that would be pretty fun. And the big announcement here that I really want to tell you, one of the main reasons I wanting to do this podcast today, not feeling well, is to give you this update. I've been saying the Dep Lewis Show Awards for 2024 will take place next weekend, December 8th, 2024, but I am going to bump those back. I think a little bit because of not feeling well this weekend, and because I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and want to consider that a little bit more. But a lot of reasons. I need some more time to play these games, and there's plenty more time in the year, so I don't need to rush it. And next weekend, there could be some fun going on in my life. I might be going to a football game. So I want to be able to provide the best end-of-year Dep Lewis Show Awards that I can. So that's the plan. So we're going to do this last weekend of the year. I think that's the most appropriate. It'll be the last podcast of the year. I think that's how I've done it the 2 years prior. So I think that's a good trajectory to stay on. So the Dep Lewis Show Awards for 2024 is going to take place on Sunday, December 29th, 2024. So it's going to be part of the regular podcast episode. Last episode of the year, I wrote sorry for the change, but I think it will be for the best. That was my overall thoughts on that. So I'm going to tell you what the best game of the year is, the best game from a prior year, favorite console of the year. And I think I also want to highlight my other favorite podcasts and streamers this year too, just to give you a bunch of great information to go, into next year with a lot of great video game information and what I think is cool and great. So that's the plan. So Dep Lewis Show Awards 2024 taking place December 29th, 2024, the end of the month. So I believe there are, we have this podcast today, then we have 1, 2, 3 podcasts before that. So I got plenty more weeks to play some video games. I think some of these games are kind of making a late push. And even games like favorite games from a prior year, I've been playing things like Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and I've been playing The Witcher 3. So, those games could possibly jump in there. I don't think I currently have them on my list, so I think I might possibly need some time. And maybe, I don't think I have any plans to get any new games, but you never know. So that's the plan, that's the change, and thank you for listening to this first section of the podcast. So, going to listen to some music. I'm going to take a break and come right back for the midsection for the video game news and rumors and speculation and releases and all the things you need to know. So come back after this music. Welcome back to the midsection of Dep Lewis Show, episode 105. This is where I tell you about what's going on around the video game world. So we're going to have some quick hitters today. We're going to go through these quickly so you don't have to listen to this voice like I've been saying. So the first block of news, I have some PlayStation stuff. Shuhei Yoshida has retired after 31 years with PlayStation. So he's the president. I believe he's the president. I didn't really ever even look up information on him. So let me look that up right now. Yoshida from Sony. So I'm a little bit slacking this week, but I think you guys will understand. After 30 years, he's leaving the company. Let's see. After the popular PlayStation executive. So PlayStation executive. one of PlayStation's most recognizable public faces. So he's retiring after 31 years. So congratulations to him on retiring. Hopefully that's what he wanted to do. And hopefully PlayStation will move along smoothly. That's what I'd say. So Shuhei Yoshida has retired from PlayStation. All right, the PlayStation Portal, the $200 US dollar handheld device, has recently updated cloud gaming features, and now there are rumors and speculation that a Midnight Black edition is coming. So I think the PlayStation Portal has been seeing some success. I think it's been seeing some recent success, and having another colorway is a cool thing. So there's some other Midnight Black accessories already out there in the mix. So that's kind of why I'm lending some credence to this rumor, and more people hopefully will want to be picking this up with the updated cloud gaming feature. So you can actually buy one of these, subscribe to the highest tier of PlayStation Plus. I think it's PlayStation Plus Premium, and you can play without a PlayStation 5 even. So pretty cool stuff going on there, and very interesting stuff moving forward in the handheld world. We heard about the Xbox handheld that's in the works. We have the Steam Deck out there. We have the ROG Ally, all sorts of retro gaming, like emulator type handheld consoles. Then we have the Nintendo Switch 2 coming out next year, allegedly. So pretty great stuff in the handheld world, and that's something I'm interested in. So something else on the rumor mill is the PlayStation Portable 2, the PSP 2, is reportedly in the early stages of development. So I don't think it's a complete allegedly. I think it's really happening, but it looks like it's years from release. It could possibly play PS5 games. It's maybe a little bit of a dumbed down version of some PlayStation 5 games, but playing them on a screen could really help out with the resolution. Or I think it's easier to get a better picture on a small screen. I think is how it works. So could be an okay trade-off there to be able to play them portably. And I think I would be in day one on this if they wanted to release this. I think I never had a PlayStation Portable or PlayStation Vita back in the day, and I think it would be perfect to add to my. I think PlayStation's been one of my favorite consoles recently, and that's going to be a category in the Dep Lewis Show Awards. So, no spoiler there, but you never know what could change up. But I would be really interested in this. So, the original PSP launched in 2004, so it's been a while, and the PS Vita in 2011, and then the Nintendo Switch kind of 6 years later came in and kind of changed everything with the handheld stuff. Maybe not everything, but they really set it on a course that companies are trying to emulate. So that was the PSP 2 news. It's reportedly in the early stages of development, so that's very good news. We've got some updated sales figures from Sony. PlayStation 2 is now sold over 160 million units sold. The previous number reported was 155 million, and it was still the highest selling console then, even with the 155. So up to 160 now for the PlayStation 2. Second in line is the DS at 154 million, and then Switch at 139 million for the best-selling consoles of all time. So how cool is that? So having some really recent success, and people are still playing these consoles today. The first release of the PS2 was in North America was October 26, 2000, so 24 years ago. All right, what else is going on with PlayStation? PlayStation Premium is adding some new classic titles. So Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, something I've added to my wish list. Slide 2, Band of Thieves, and Slide 3, Honor Among Thieves. So some pretty good rhyming there. Well, not a rhyme, it's actually the same word, but I don't believe Slide 3 or 2 is currently on PSN. It might just be the streaming section, but there is a Sly game that you can purchase. I believe it's the first one. I think it's $9.99. You can actually buy a digital copy of it. So I think these are part of like the streaming catalog that are now coming to PlayStation. Classic titles is how I'm reading it, but I'm not sure. But some pretty great classic titles. They're coming over for like the 30th anniversary. They're trying to bring back some really like heavy hitters from the past, I guess is what they're doing. And these new PlayStation Premium classic titles will be available on December 20th, 2024. All right, what else is going on in the world? Naughty Dog, the great developer, one of my other favorite developers along with Insomniac. Their next game is allegedly codenamed Jordan. They may be revealing this game sometime soon at the Game Awards, possibly. Troy Baker confirms he's in Naughty Dog's next game. And director Neil Druckmann says it's the most excited he has ever been for a project. So I really don't know what to expect from this. Last of Us 2 is my favorite video game of all time. And I will be buying whatever Naughty Dog releases most likely on day one. Unless it's something really out of left field that really doesn't trip my trigger. But it looks, I'm 99.9% confident I will be excited for this and ready to play it. And hopefully it's going to be a great video game. All right, so that ends my little Sony block of information. The next game, I mentioned the game in the series in the first section, Witcher 3, but Witcher 4 has been entered full-scale production. So that's some news here. Developer CD Projekt Red has announced as part of its latest financial results that it's in full-scale production. So the Polish company said that the project Polaris is the code name. It will be the first installment in the new Witcher trilogy. It's now progressed from pre-production to full-scale production. So The Witcher 3 is something I'm playing, something on my backlog I want to complete, and I think it's cool. They're going to have a new character, allegedly. Maybe it's going to be Ciri. I don't know how The Witcher 3 ends, but I think playing as Ciri in parts of Witcher 3 has been really, really fun. So playing the whole game as her would be fun to me. So that's my little bit of an early call, not knowing how Witcher 3 ends. But Witcher 4 is in full-scale production. All right, Baldur's Gate 3, the great video game by Larian. There's community update number 30 is coming next year. That's the news. They're going to have a patch 8 stress test on January 2025. With this update, they're going to add crossplay, so something a lot of people have been waiting for, and I have been too. Photo mode, 12 new subclasses, and continued bug fixing. So pretty good additions to Baldur's Gate 3. Game of the year for a lot of people last year, and they're still adding some great stuff to it, so that's really nice. Mortal Kombat 1, the fighting game. The rumors there are the planned Combat Pack 3 has been canceled. So it was going to include 6 characters, is all alleged, all the rumor kind of stuff, but somewhat confirmed. As far as, take it with a grain of salt. But 6 characters were going to be Jade, Cassie, Kung Jin, Sonya, and Kano. The 6th was allegedly a highly requested character. So it seems like we're not going to see the light of day for these. I think I read one article said that the developers in NetherRealm were not happy about this, and I guess you wouldn't be. You would want your game to keep being supported, but I don't know if this game performed well sales-wise, but I do like some Mortal Kombat. I kind of wish this is kind of a game I should probably pick up at some point because it's probably been on sale pretty hardcore, but something I would like to add to my gaming backlog at some point because I liked Mortal Kombat 11 a whole lot, and Mortal Kombat have been some of my favorite games ever, but Combat Pack 3 has seemingly been canceled. All right, just a couple more little stories here in the mid-section for you. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind is a new video game coming out. It has been slightly delayed for Nintendo Switch due to unforeseen circumstances. Instead of the original 12/10/24 release date alongside the PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam versions, it will now be released 12/19/2024 on Switch. So other platforms still releasing on December 10th. Man, I really can't do this today. Sorry, people out there, just really jumbling things. But it's still going to release on December 10th, and now it's going to release on December 10th on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and it's going to release on December 19th for Switch. Now that's the news here. The Switch version will also not support online play at launch. $34.99 US for the game, and it looks like it's on sale right now on PlayStation, or it was. It is on sale on PlayStation right now until December 10th, 2024 for $29.74. So about $5 off on that if you want to go pre-order that game right now. The back of the box talk on this game is the team faces off against a robotic reincarnation of the Power Rangers' longtime nemesis. Robo Rita has conjured a portal to send herself back in time so she can finally vanquish the Power Rangers by forming an alliance with her younger self. Working together, Robo Rita and Rita Repulsa rewind, rewrite, and remix the past in an attempt to stop the very formation of the Power Rangers, alerting the course of history. So this looks a little bit like a beat-em-up in the style of TMNT Shredder's Revenge, but with Power Rangers. I was a Power Rangers fan growing up, and that makes me think I should want to play this. I had fun playing TM Shredder's Revenge and liked the Turtles, but I also like the Power Rangers. I haven't thought about them or liked them in a long time, but this could be a cool version of the game, and this seems like especially fun if you had people to play it with or people that want to play online or in person. So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, a little bit of a delay on Switch, but still the release date for other platforms is happening on December 10th. All right, the last bit of news, the Xbox Avatar Editor. Xbox is removing the Avatar Editor app from the Xbox consoles and PC, ending support for the revamped characters first introduced in 2018. So this will be no longer available on January 9th, 2025, so some next year news. Users will no longer be able to access Xbox avatars or any of their purchased Avatar items. Xbox says it will refund all Avatar purchases made between November 1st, 2023 and January 9th, 2025. And this is all due to low engagement. So I really believe that. I don't think anybody's going to be too upset about this. Avatars were popping a little bit during the 360 era and were fun and kind of unique and something different, but I think the world has just moved on. Xbox says it will retain support for the simpler Xbox original avatars, which will continue to work in supported Xbox 360 games and will be accessible via the Xbox original avatars app. So still going to be some avatars in there in the mix, but if you have purchased anything recently, it looks like you're going to get a refund, and if you want to like take a picture of your avatar, you better do it now kind of thing, because they are going away on January 9th, 2025. And that is going to wrap up the mid-section of the show today, of the quickest podcast in Dep Lewis Show history, maybe. So we announced Yoshida has retired from PlayStation. PlayStation Portal rumors might get a Midnight Black edition. PSP 2 is reportedly in the works. Years from release, though. PlayStation 2 has been selling a lot still, 160 million. It just surpassed lifetime sales. PlayStation Premiums against the new classic titles, Jak and Daxter, Slide 2 and Slide 3. Naughty Dog, next game is allegedly codenamed Jordan, and maybe we'll get an announcement on this soon. Witcher 4 has entered full-scale production. Baldur's Gate 3 has a big update coming soon that adds cross-play photo mode, new subclasses, and fixing some bugs. Mortal Kombat 1, Combat Pack 3 seemingly has been canceled. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reader's Rewind, a little bit of a delay on Switch, but still coming out for other platforms to 12/10/2024. And the Xbox Avatar Editor is going away January 9th, 2025. And that's all the news I have for you this week. So thank you for listening to this news. And we are going to wrap up the midsection and come back for one final section of this show today, the miscellaneous talk section after this. Welcome back to the final section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 105. This is the miscellaneous talk section where I can talk about anything I want to outside the video game world. So for today, I want to get into the worldwide world of sports as always and tell you about what's going on with my favorite team. So the Carolina Panthers, last week they played the Kansas City Chiefs, the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and the Panthers played a hell of a game. So, congratulations to the Panthers, a moral victory in the books, and really just, low expectations against the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs' offense hasn't been rolling like it has normally, but they're still the Chiefs. So a great game for the Panthers. They lost 27-30, however. They were in the mix at the end, and just really, really great signs for the Panthers fans and myself as a whole. So Bryce was 21 for 35, 263 yards and 1 touchdown. It's one of his best games of his career is my guess. 2 sacks for 14 yards. Chuba had 16 carries, 58 yards and a tud. David Moore was the leading receiver. Bryce and him were really jiving. And 81 yards. 6 receptions and 1 touchdown. Adam Thielen was the next with 3 catches for 57 yards. Xavier Legette with 4 catches for 56 yards. And Jatavian Sanders with 3 catches for 49 yards and left the game with an injury. A neck injury, I believe. They were saying concussion. They were saying neck injury. But I've seen him on the practice field, a picture of him on the practice field this week just in kind of like warm-up clothes. So he is at least, seeming like he's in okay shape. So, thank goodness Jatavian Sanders is doing okay because that was a scary injury. But other than that, the Panthers game was great and impressive. And, just congratulations to the Panthers. That was a good effort and fun to watch as a fan. And hopefully we can get some type of games close to that amount of effort and intrigue and excitement and skill. And Bryce Young threw a dot to Xavier Legette on the sidelines, running down the sidelines with some man coverage. Maybe a 30-yard pass, something like that, crazy, and right in the breadbasket, and Xavier dropped it. He was said after the game it was bothering him. He said during the week it was still bothering him. He reached out to Bryce and said he was sorry for dropping that, and just that's a really stand-up class act right there. So I think we would love to see that catch be made, but seeing the pass from Bryce, I think that's hopefully going to give him some confidence, and he looks like he's got some confidence out there. So we'll see. They're playing the Tampa Bay Bucks today in Charlotte at home at 4:04 in the afternoon, so I really haven't seen too much activity going on around North Carolina yet for the hype, but it is early. I was thinking the game was at 1 o'clock, but so that's some news to me now, even reading my notes. So got to wait till some afternoon for some Panthers football today. I'm not going to go to the game because of the way I sound on this podcast. And then next week is at Philly at 1 o'clock, so that's going to be, all the games for the Panthers are tough, but Bucks are going to be tough, a divisional opponent, and then Philly has really, really been balling lately. We got to go see Saquon up in Philly. So, go Panthers today. Hopefully we'll play a strong game against the Bucks. I hope they get the win. I think they can get the win, and we will see. And I'll tell you about what's going on with them next week. So that's everything going on with the Carolina Panthers. All right, the Charlotte Hornets. What's been going on with them? So Monday versus Orlando, the Hornets lost 84-95. Wednesday versus Miami, the Hornets lost 94-98. Friday versus New York, which was a noon game, day after Thanksgiving, Hornets lost 98-99, and LaMelo got injured late in this game, and he's out. They announced on Saturday, so yesterday, that LaMelo was out at least 2 weeks with a calf strain, announced Saturday. He left the fourth quarter of the game versus the Knicks. So yesterday was one of the games I've been waiting for all year. The Atlanta Hawks were playing in Charlotte, but I didn't go because I needed to stay my you-know-what inside, feeling and sounding like this. So Saturday versus the Hawks, the Hornets lost 104-107. No LaMelo. Trey was questionable, or they were wondering if he was going to play, but he did play. The Hawks spread the points around. It looks like Shuhei and Jalen Johnson really kind of did their thing. And I think Trey had a ton of assists, so a good win for them. And I was disappointed I couldn't be there. So I think the Hawks come back to Charlotte in March, so I'm going to really plan on going to that. And I have a lot of things to look forward to in March with that game. And then baseball starting. March is going to be a really, really great month to look forward to now. So I'm sad I missed the Hawks yesterday. I'm sad I missed the Hornets even. I actually got a LaMelo Ball jersey for my birthday that just took place recently. So, I always say I'm a halfway Hornets fan, but now I'm coming closer to a full Hornets fan. I got the coolest jersey that they have on the store. It's the cool green colorway, like the dark green with the stripes. This is the Jordan brand. I got a LaMelo jersey, and then he gets injured. So a little bit of a buzzkill there, but I'm still excited to have that, and it was a great surprise on my birthday. So some pretty good stuff going on. Birthday, Thanksgiving, minus being sick after this. So, things are okay, and they're going to be looking up, is what I say. All right, so the Atlanta Hawks, that's my favorite NBA team, which maybe I'm splitting my action now between the Hornets and the Hawks. You never know. Monday versus Dallas last week, the Hawks lost 119-129, which lost me the bet against friend of the show and friend of real life, Pab. As I mentioned, this was a bet where I have to listen to 10 songs of his choosing, all back to back. And he has really, 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 really specific, terrible taste in music, and he knows what songs get stuck in my head. So maybe I'll talk about that on the show at some point, because he sent me a list of 10 songs I have to listen to. He sent me a list of 7 alternates if I felt like listening to more. Like, what a fool. So, a friend of the show, Pat, he's a good friend, minus these trolly notions, and might actually get to see him next weekend for a football game I was talking about, for the ACC championship that's going to take place in Charlotte. So I may be able to report back next week about how that was. So pretty cool stuff. But the Hawks lost that game Monday, which was very disheartening because I needed that win. Pab would have had to buy me a ticket to the Hawks-Hornets game, which I would have been sick for. So I think it kind of worked out, minus me having to listen to his music, which he's been asking me if I've listened to it yet. And I'm like, I got to wait till I feel a little bit better to get into this terrible music. I don't need everything in the world coming at me at once. But the Hawks, they played Friday versus the Cavs. The Hawks won 117-101, so they keep on beating the Cavs, which is nice. And then Saturday versus the Hornets, we talked about, the Hawks won 107-104. So next week, the Hawks have the Pelicans, Bucks, Lakers, and Denver. I didn't mention the Hornets next week have Philly, Cleveland, Knicks, and Indiana. So the last bit of so that's all my NBA talk. No baseball talk really to talk about. The Braves are in off season. I want them to pay Max Fried. I really would like to deliver a passion speech like I've been trying to do every week, but I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to take the week off on that, but I really want them to pay him drop the bag of money off on his porch. And next week I'll come back with some Max Fried fire in my belly. Spring training begins February 22nd, 2025, and the first game of the regular season is at the Padres, March 27th. So I believe the Hawks come to Charlotte like March 18th or something like that, something around there. And then about a week later, the Braves start baseball. So March is going to be, I'll be happy dancing for most of March. MLB news, there's been some like free agent stuff. Blake Snell signed with the Dodgers, so not too much of a surprise there. Kikuchi, the pitcher from the Blue Jays, I believe he was just with, went to the Angels. And I'm not sure if there's been anything else. I really kind of slacked on my MLB news to end the week out, being busy and things like that. But, that's everything I got for you today on the sports. That's the Carolina Panthers. They play the Bucks today, so hopefully they'll get a win. Talked about the Hornets, the Hawks, and the Braves. We talked about some general MLB news. So just thank you for listening to the show. That's going to wrap up the miscellaneous talk section. And in turn, that's going to wrap up the entire Dep Lewis Show, episode 105, the sick voice episode. So thank you for putting up with this sick voice. I had all my news and information, so I wanted to make sure I give it to you timely, even if it sounds terrible. I didn't want to skip a week or give you old news next week, so this at least allows me to put something out there and then start fresh and get all my news together for next week and come back for a great podcast next week and hopefully sounding better. So that's the plan. Let me reiterate some promotional talk from the beginning. Please follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show available anywhere you can find a podcast. So find the best place to subscribe and listen weekly. Places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Amazon Music, and more. Twitch.tv/Dep Lewis Show is a great place to follow. If you'd like to support the show even further than just listening, Patreon.com/Dep Lewis Show is available. If you'd like to subscribe monthly, and then also Venmo at Dep Lewis Show is available any day, anytime, for any amount if you'd like to support the show. Thank you for being a listener. I hope you're doing great out there in the world. I hope you have a great upcoming week. I hope you still have some time off from work. I hope you get a raise if you are working. I hope people are nice to you in the world. I hope you get to eat something good. I hope you see a cute dog. I hope you go on a date. I hope you get a new TV. I hope you get a new video game. I hope you drink a beer. I hope you have some fun. I hope you go to a sporting event. And I also hope you come back and listen to another episode of Dep Lewis Show next week, because that's where I'll be. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.